For generations, mankind lived in the shadow of the great flood. The world had been washed clean by divine judgment, and from its ruins, Noah and his descendants began anew. But among them, one man would rise to become the first great king in human history, a man of immense power, ambition, and rebellion, a man whose name would be remembered for centuries. That man was Nimrod. Born into the lineage of Ham, the son of Noah, Nimrod was the grandson of Cush, a leader among the early post-flood nations. His birth took place in Mesopotamia, a land of vast rivers, rich soil, and the early foundations of civilization. From his earliest days, Nimrod was no ordinary child. His father, Cush, was known for his leadership, and he saw something extraordinary in his son. Nimrod was stronger, taller, and more intelligent than others his age. He possessed an almost supernatural ability to command attention, his voice carrying weight and authority beyond his years. Some ancient traditions claim that Cush and his people believed Nimrod was chosen by fate, destined for greatness. As he grew, Nimrod became renowned for his strength and skill as a hunter. Unlike other men who hunted for mere survival, Nimrod hunted for sport, power, and dominance. He tracked down the mightiest beasts, slaying lions and leopards with his bare hands. He was fearless in the wilderness, able to track prey for miles, using his keen senses and unmatched endurance. But his ambitions stretched beyond hunting animals. Nimrod had a hunger for power, a desire to rule over men, not just creatures of the wild. His strength and skill in combat gained him loyal followers, men who saw in him a leader unlike any before. By the time he reached adulthood, Nimrod had become a warrior king, gathering an army and establishing control over multiple tribes. He would go on to build some of the greatest cities of the ancient world, Babel, Erech, Akkad, and more. But his greatest ambition was yet to come, a tower that would reach the heavens, challenging the authority of God himself. Nimrod's name would be forever linked with power, rebellion, and the rise of the first great empire. But his story would also serve as a warning of what happens when man dares to defy the will of the Almighty. The Bible describes Nimrod as a mighty hunter before the Lord, Genesis 10:9. But what does this mean? Some believe it simply refers to his unmatched skill in hunting animals, but others argue that this phrase hints at his ruthless ambition and rebellion. He was not just a hunter of beasts, he was a hunter of men. Nimrod's reputation as a hunter made him a legend in his time. He could track animals for days, taking down lions and wild bulls with terrifying efficiency. But soon, his attention shifted to hunting men, conquering tribes, and forcing them into his rule. In the chaotic world after the flood, many lived in scattered groups, struggling to survive. Nimrod offered them protection, but at a price: absolute loyalty. Those who submitted to him became his subjects. Those who resisted were crushed. He became the first man to establish a great kingdom, ruling over Babel, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Shinar, Genesis 10:10. But ruling a few cities was not enough for Nimrod. He wanted more. He wanted an empire. Nimrod was more than just a warrior. He was a master strategist and builder. He knew that to maintain power, he needed fortified cities, strongholds that would make his rule unshakable. His first great city was Babel. It was not just a place of trade and governance. It was a symbol of human achievement, unity, and defiance. From there, his empire expanded, reaching Assyria, where he founded Nineveh, Rehoboth-ir, Calah, and Rezin, Genesis 10:11-12. With every conquest his legend grew, and his power became unrivaled. But Nimrod's ambition knew no limits. He sought something greater than mere kingship. He sought to challenge God himself. Nimrod envisioned a structure that would pierce the heavens, a tower so tall that it would make man equal to God. The Tower of Babel was meant to be a monument to human strength, unity, and defiance. He gathered the people, unifying them under a single goal: They would build a tower so high that it would be beyond the reach of any future flood, beyond the reach of divine judgment. With bricks and tar, they labored tirelessly. The tower rose higher and higher, defying the natural order. Nimrod stood at its peak, looking down upon his kingdom, believing that soon he would be unstoppable. But God saw their pride and rebellion. As the people of Babel worked, a sudden and terrifying event took place. Without warning, they could no longer understand one another. One man spoke, but his neighbor heard only gibberish. Confusion erupted. The workers shouted, trying to make sense of the chaos, but it was hopeless. Their language had been divided. The once united people turned against each other. Work on the tower ceased, and the great project was abandoned. God had scattered them across the earth, ensuring that they could never again unite in rebellion. Nimrod's greatest dream had crumbled before his eyes. His tower, meant to reach the heavens, was left unfinished, a monument to human pride and divine justice. The Bible does not explicitly state what happened to Nimrod after Babel's fall, but various legends suggest his rule ended in violence. Some say that he continued to rule, but with his people divided, his empire weakened. Others claim he was overthrown by rival kings or even slain by Shem, the righteous son of Noah, as punishment for his defiance. Ancient myths link Nimrod to later figures like Gilgamesh and the god Marduk, suggesting that his legend lived on long after his death. Though Nimrod's empire collapsed, his influence remained. The cities he founded became centers of power for centuries. His name was associated with strength, rebellion, and ambition. Even today, Nimrod's story serves as a warning about the dangers of pride, tyranny, and defying God's authority. His life is a testament to human ambition, but also to the ultimate power of divine judgment.